So I just picked up the keys for the Z3M. So this is the 2000 Z3M. Today we're going to review this one. I think it's the prettiest roadster BMW has ever built. I borrowed this from a family friend. We're out here in San Diego and we're going to take it out for a ride. So before we get behind the wheel of the car, we're first going to discuss a bit about the history, the exterior and interior design. We're going to listen to its engine sound, talk about quirks and features. Starting with the history. So the first time I became aware of this car was back in '97 when James Bond GoldenEye aired. It was my favorite Bond of all times. They had the regular Z3 in that movie, and I think that was a huge marketing success to have it in there. This particular version is the M though. So overall, BMW built 300,000 Z3s. However, only about 5% of them were M's. So this is a fairly rare car. And despite how rare these are, you can buy them for $15,000 these days in California. Even at lower mileage, 50, 60,000 miles and somewhat decent condition. So I think this is a great car and probably the best M that your money can buy you. Back in the days, this was the first BMW ever built in North America. These days, the plants there have gotten huge in Spartanburg. They're building all the X series. But let's take a closer look at this one. Despite the short build time of only 4 years, from '98 to 2002, BMW has managed to put 4 engines into this car. So there were different engines for North America and for Europe. The American folks got some weaker options out here. However, my friend got the M version, 240 horsepower with a Dinan package. So this is actually, you can see the stabilizer here, comes at 280 horsepower. In Europe in the later build years, they put in the new updated M3 E46 engine, which came with up to 320 horsepower. Anyway, this engine feels much stronger than it is. So driving the Z3M, to be honest, what did I expect getting into a 17, 18-year-old car? I guess first surprise, haven't driven a car this old in a while, is you need quite some force at low speeds for the steering wheel. It gets incredibly precise. I'm driving 45 miles an hour. Super responsive and below 2000 RPM. I think that is just typical for the straight 6 engine. Ready. So this is my little helper buddy Jacob, my nephew. Jacob, what do you think of the Z3M?
It's a really nice car. I mean, I like how you can pull back the hood. It looks very old though. And
so the features aren't very updated. What else? What do you think about the comfort level?
The comfort's pretty nice. It's a very nice comfort.
Seat comfort, they're a little hard but sporty and good in the curve, so what do you think? Yeah. Okay, Jacob, let's check out the acceleration once more. The M. You ready for it? What do you think?
It's nice.
So what comes to my mind when I look at the interior, I really like the aluminum frames here, the framing around the instruments. You have a battery voltage that I don't think any car shows that these days, time, which isn't quite correct. Engine oil and engine water oil, which is super valuable to have in a sports car because you don't want to be pushing it before you're up to temperature. We can get out of the car and talk a bit about the exterior. Designed by Joji Nagashima. It's a Japanese designer who's known for designing the E36, the E90 3 Series, and the E39 5 Series. And of course this Z3. This particular model is an Arctic Silver Metallic. Comes with 225 tires, 17-inch. I've hardly seen any cars that look that good on 17-inch rims. But it's just a small car, and I think it's part of what I really like about the Z3M.
Stop it! Stop it!
So the day is almost over. Some final remarks on the car. I think there's a few things I really like about it. I love how solid it's built. I love the steering, which is super direct, heavy, but it feels super precise. You don't get that even in modern days. I love how compact it is. and I love the engine grumble. So this straight six sound is just a pleasure. There's also a few things I do not like as much. So I don't think over the long term the quality holds up quite as well as it would be in a Japanese car, and related to that it's mainly a cost factor. So what I also don't like is the slow driving comfort. Whenever you start this, you go from zero, it feels like effort. It's not an effortless car to drive. Like these days, if you sit in a 911, like everyone can drive that car. It's just so easy. But with the Z3M, it requires some work, and that's also part of what makes the excitement. You need to master this car in order to drive it well. So I'm not sure it's a real con. So overall, I think this is an excellent deal considering you can pick these up for 15K. I think the price is gonna skyrocket for this. If you look at the European market, you will pay at least twice the price that you pay for it in the US. Part of the reason is that the Chinese markets have opened for old-timers and young-timers from Europe for import. And I think this is not on the shopping list for most people looking at young-timers and old-timers, but it will be very soon. Thanks for tuning in.